Hey everybody, welcome to Niagara Wine Videos. I'm Brad and I bring you the story behind Niagara's finest wines. And I'm extremely excited to be here. It's been a long time since I've done a live show, a review of a wine that I personally think has amazing quality and I want to let you know about it. So why has it been so long? I've been busy with all kind of award shows. I've got great footage of the Food and Wine Expo. I was at the Ontario Wine Awards getting video footage of all, the award-winning wines, the medal winners, Tony Aspler's Ontario Wine Awards. So I'll be posting some of that footage a little later on. But I think I really wanted to post a video, being spring. It's May 28th, so we're nearing June. May's almost in the bag. It's been a busy kind of spring. We got hit with some really nice weather at the beginning of the month, and then we got some little cooler weather that scared everybody off, and now the warm or maybe traditional kind of spring weather came back in. So everybody's, if you're like me, you're out in your gardens planting flowers, you're getting your potters ready, your bushes trimmed, you're getting your lawn fertilized so it actually looks like lawn, and you're getting rid of all the weeds. So everybody's really busy. So, that's really why I haven't been here. But the best thing to drink in springtime when you're busy with your yard is a bottle of rosé. So I figured I need to get this video out. I absolutely need to get it out so you can go and run and get a bottle of rosé. Whether it's this one or another one with really good quality. I'm going to get into it and kind of let you know which ones are the good quality ones and, maybe the bad stuff. So, really two types of rosés out there. The first rosé is kind of the non-traditional style that became popular in California in the 80s. Is considered like a blush wine, right? It's a mix of white varietal with a red varietal, which makes a sweet wine, so a sweet rosé. The other style, the one I prefer, and the traditional style, is really 100% red grape varietal that's fermented on the skins a little bit, and there's no white wine in it. Absolutely no white wine. It's a wine that's fermented and made as a dry wine. So they're always dry and crisp, and they have actually nuances of a red wine because they are a red wine. So they drink way more like a red wine. So if you're a red wine drinker and you want to have something cool and refreshing, something that reminds you of a red wine when you're drinking it, because you get the tannins and you get like the oak flavors, the smokiness comes through, all those nice secondary flavors you get in red wine, you're going to get that in a dry style rosé. So what I have for you today is a rosé from a family-owned and run winery called Between the Lines. From the 4 Mile Creek appellation in Niagara. It's an estate winery, so all the fruit comes from their estate, and it's all tended by the family, and the winemaker is a family member. So this comes from, like I said, the 4 Mile Creek appellation. There it is right there. All the vineyards. It's a German family, and if you go to the winery, their mother is usually there to greet and pour the wines, and their two sons are really the brains of the operation. And I might add that they're pretty young. I think they're both even under 30. So pretty amazing. Greg is one of the sons, is in charge of the business, and Yannick is the winemaker. So both of them, I think, studied in the Niagara region, and then took their post-secondary studies in Germany. They're a German family, so they went to Germany to get to finalize their education, and I think it makes a big difference, and I think it comes through in the wine making of Yannick. German wines tend to be really structured and dry. If one thing they do, it's always the dry and structured thing that comes to mind when I taste German wines. One person in particular that stands out in my head is Heidi Barrett. The famous, iconic Heidi Barrett, the creator of Screaming Eagle that won 100 points from Robert Parker, went on to become probably one of the most valuable wines in the world, right up there with, a bottle of Petrus, right? So really, she really pops into my head when I think of German-made wine, because she cites Germany as the place where she really learned how to make world-class wine, amazing wines, because of the German ideas, and the idea behind German wine is always the balance and structure is at the forefront, and everything else comes secondary. So the main purpose of a perfect made wine is the balance and the structure. So that's exactly what you get when you taste the wines up between the lines. You really get very good balance and very good structure. They're very tight knit wines, always leaving your mouth a little bit dry and puckered, but always really put together wines. They're not lazy, they're not goopy, they're not syrupy. They're very structured, very well made wines. So being springtime, when everyone's busy out in their yard trying to get their lawn to look like lawn, gardening and planting flowers and everything, it's always nice to have a drink when you're out there on the weekend. And if you're not drinking beer, and you want to have a glass of wine, sometimes the residual sugars in white wine, can give you a little bit of a headache. So it's nice to have a dry-styled rosé. Again, this is not blush, so this is not a red wine and a white wine mixed together like California populated in the 80s. This is 100% red wine, so this is actually two varietals. It's a Cabernet Franc and a Pinot Noir, co-fermented. And then it was aged for only about 6 months in French oak. So you get some of that nice oaky, vanilla, smoky, woodsy tones that you get in red wine. You get that in here as well, along with the crisp fruit and just a tad of residual sugar, just to make it just a touch of sweetness, but then like nice dry structure, red wine quality. So I'll just make a color shot here. I did a little tasting just to make sure the wine was good before I did the video. So if you're wondering why there's some missing there, so I'm going to pour it so you can see the color. Really nice color. One of the things that I really liked about this wine was like how light it is. Sometimes you get rosés and they're really dark. I like it when they're lighter like this. It's got like a watermelon, brandy, peachy color. And if you remember, I did a wine, the best rosé of 2012 I picked was Reimer Estates, and they had this like similar brandy color, which was like a light watermelon apricot looking color. So I really like the color of that wine right off the bat. Just give you a shot there. And on the nose, it's very pretty. It's got cherry vanilla, and it's got a little mustiness, and that comes from the barrel aging. But yeah, it's got some flowers in there, so it's really nice. Maybe rose petal, like even a white musk maybe. So really pretty nose to it. It almost smells like springtime. This is why this wine is so amazing in spring. And actually, rosés are usually released in the springtime, so you're getting the freshest version of the wine in the spring. This is a 2012, so it was probably just released. So it's always find wine. It's moody. It's a moody drink, and each month has a different mood to it, or each season, I should say. Spring has got that, freshness. Everything's just budding and coming back to life, and that's kind of why I like rosé. It kind of just is lively and fresh and kind of beautiful, like it smells outside. So let's just get into the wine here. So there it is. It's got really nice acidity, just begging you to drink more. But here it is. Here's why I really like rosé. It is almost like a playground in your mouth. because it's got so many complexities and layers to it. And a lot of people think that rosé is such a simple drink. It's actually not if you break it down. I love this wine because it's done absolutely correctly. When it first enters your mouth and it hits your tongue and your palate, you get a little bit of sweetness. So it's pleasant, right? It's a nice feeling to have, a little bit of sweetness in your mouth. Like, you drink lemonade, it's got a little bit of sweetness, and then when you're done, it finishes kind of sour and tart. That's kind of like what this does here. It starts off with this little bit of sweetness, but then when you finish it, it finishes a little, not sour, but it finishes structured with acidity, like lemonade does, and it begs you to take another sip. But I guess what I'm getting at is this is not a wine that is sweet at all. Yeah, so it starts sweet, but it finishes really dry, structured, and not sour, but not sweet, if that makes any sense. So it's, I guess, a wine you could drink outside while doing your gardening, and it gives you that crisp, refreshing feeling instead of like a weighty red wine or a weighty white wine that has too much sugar or it's just too heavy. This is actually it's a full wine without being heavy. It's a full wine that's crisp and refreshing and delicious. So. I mean, it's actually got a really nice creaminess to it. The mid-palate's incredibly creamy. As it transitions to the end where it's really nice, dry, structured, grips your tongue, and the flavors continue. If you lick your lips, you can still taste it. So really, really nice job. This might be one of the most complete dry rosés I've ever had. It's so structured, and it's actually just so beautiful. When you drink it, that wow, this might be one of my favorite rosés of the year. We'll have to see. They're all just being released, so I'm gonna go on a mission and taste everybody's rosé to see which one I like the best. But this is right up there. This has already beat out 2 that I've tried so far. So that's good. So wow, the Between the Lines Rosé 2012. It's a breakdown. Remember, half Pinot Noir and half Cabernet Franc. There's absolutely no white wine put in this. So if you're a red wine drinker, you'll definitely like it. It's got nuances that you'd find in red wine, but it's got refreshing qualities that you'd find in white wine without being sweet. So really nice wine, very beautiful, elegant, refreshing, crisp. Yeah, I mean, the nose is great, the palate's great, the finish is great, amazing wine. This wine's only $14.95, so it's an absolute screaming deal. If you want something very authentic and a traditional style rosé, this is how the Europeans do it. They've always done it that way. You're definitely got to get down to Between the Lines, grab yourself a bottle of their 2012 rosé, estate-grown fruit from Between the Lines. Check out the family-owned winery. Really, really nice stuff. See you next time. Cheers.